Alright, so I'm guessing that I'm gonna have to do a literal commentary, meaning that I'm actually talking about this after the fact. So, welcome part whatever of my French Republic Let's Play in the Kaiserreich mod. I'm Sworn John, and thank you very much for watching. Let's go ahead and I've already started here. So yeah, sad face. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and explain what happened here. So I updated my OBS studio, and what ended up happening was I sort of okay. So like the mic and the video capture device and all that stuff, basically it moves around whenever you talk. So right now, I just got into the red, and now it's the green. Anyways, and all that stuff. But I failed to notice that it actually wasn't moving at all because of the fact that this is the first time I actually recorded on the version 21.0.1. So, yeah, that sucks. Like, majorly sucks. Fortunately, is the... Okay. Well, on the bright side, it seems like my actual desk top audio is... It still recorded the actual desktop top audio. All it did not record was the actual mic itself. So, basically, I'm just going to have to commentate after the fact. In fact, if I was to move this right here, you would notice that, see, my lips are moving, but I'm not talking. Which really does suck, because in this episode, I actually talked a lot, and that was awesome. So that's that. So let's just go ahead and get that back out of there. Okay, so I'm waiting until... Okay, so if you see right there in /slig Holstig, I think that's the right one. No, that's the top part of Germany. Silesia, that's right, Silesia. Okay, so instead of Poland taking Danzig, instead Poland takes Silesia. I found the map to look a little bit more different than post-World War I in our timeline, which makes it look a whole lot more cooler, in my opinion. Well, not really cooler, but, more aesthetically pleasing, I suppose. So yeah, at this point, I'm seeing that I'm not going to be able to actually keep on pushing unless I want to lose all my manpower. So I'm basically taking a more defensive position at this point, and I have decided to simply basically entrench my troops and hope for the best. So that's that. Ah, good. Okay, so right there, you'll see the red arrow. Well, you would have saw the red arrows over in Silesia, and basically that is me. I'm basically securing that area right there, right now. So then I don't have to use as much troops, and that will help me out in the long run. Even though I only had to use about 2 or 3 troops. Oh well. So that's that. We're about to get Breslau. There's the Polish Hussar Division right there. That's me. Now I'm contemplating whether or not that 10 victory points by getting Königsberg is worth it. I ultimately decide against it, though. William III always looked weird to me. I wish that they got a better photo of him. I don't know. I think it's just like the way his head is angled. Like, his head needs to be more angled like William II. That's just my opinion, though. Like, I don't know, they just need to change the perspective. So here I am building more naval factories, so then I can build more of the battleship cruisers too, if I remember correctly, because of the fact that our Navy took a huge hit. Of course, Germany's Navy did too. In fact, they only had about 80 or so ships, or 90, 80, something like that. Whereas we only had around 47, if I remember correctly. Anyways, this is where I got the idea just to simply have a whole lot of different generals doing different things. To me, I don't know, it just seems a whole lot more easier, or it just seemed a whole lot easier at the time, and it did in fact pay off, I believe. As you can see here. So the reason why this is going to work so well is because of the fact that those German divisions over there are stuck in a place that does not, in fact, have a naval base. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to send one more Mountaineer division and have them help out with the siege of Algiers, or really the liberation of Algiers. But guess what, I didn't really need it that much because of the fact that those divisions over there that was encircled and trapped, yeah, most of their actual organization has been lost due to the fact that they have very, very little, or had, I mean, very, very little organization. So that's that. And then Algiers was a piece of cake. You may have noted, basically, I'm using the same strategy that I used in my Union of Soviet Socialist Republics Let's Play, where basically it got to the point where I was losing so much troops that if I kept on going, I was going to run out. So basically what I did was I just simply halted all advancement and had the Germans just lose more and more manpower trying to take back their, or not really take back, to siege more of my lands. Except this time, I had to stop halfway through the invasion, or the invasion of Germany, because of the fact that, you know, I was running out of manpower. Of course, it's amazing that I was actually able to get to Berlin before I actually had to stop my advancement. So that was actually pretty amazing. And very fortunate. Look at all those forts right there. Crazy. You know, it's actually pretty strange commentating post-recording. I've actually never done this before. I'm almost afraid to ask how I'm doing, because if I'm doing too good, then that means that I'm going to have to change. And the problem with this is it's going to take me twice as long to record and, yeah, to finalize my video formatting. But of course, it's going to take a while eventually anyways. But I hope I'm doing a good job right now for my first time ever doing something like this. One thing I've found very interesting post-recording is I was actually able to take all the Rhineland, and then that Rhineland was actually a very, very strategic location due to the fact that I have the river. I don't know if I mentioned that in my videos before, but there you go. There you go. Breslau has been sieged down. I love how I never even attempted, I don't even recall even attempting to take out the Netherlands. Of course, I do believe I did, and it just got to the point to where the Netherlands has a fully fresh manpower pool, so it was honestly suicidal for us to even try anything with them. It is very, like, surprising how the Free State of Middle Europa just simply was not interested in sieging any of my African lands, even though that the land down there was completely unsecure. Like, they could have stormed my southern half of my African colony, and there's absolutely nothing that I could have done. But I guess they were just afraid. I don't know. We had, like, rubber tanks. That's it. We had, like, a bunch of rubber tanks, and it scared the crap out of them. Either that, or we just took all of our tanks from our reserves, because we have a crap ton of tanks and trucks, and we just parked them across, like, all of the battlefields just to scare them. And we had a couple people fire them off every once in a while. There you go. That's the story behind that. Sort of like those tanks that was used across over in the UK. They basically had a bunch of fake tanks everywhere. It's an interesting story right there. It was basically used to divert, attention. So here I am, I'm trying to encircle those, the enemies down, in between the river banks right there. At least I think those are river banks. They're not really river banks, but whatever. And I am sort of winning here. The question is, will I win? I don't know. I've never seen this before. Looks like Flanders has successfully liberated Brussels, which is quite unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. I mean, going after that infantry corps, gonna get ourselves improved infantry Mark III. Should be fun. Make ourselves technologically superior to the Germans. Which is odd because of the fact that they actually have Einstein. I'm not saying Einstein could have single-handedly won the war, but still. Anyways, here I am, and I'm evacuating the troops from Vlaanderen, the state of Vlaanderen. Because that is a crap ton of troops. In fact, I can actually count now that I'm actually concentrating on the details. That is 23 divisions at risk. Yeah, so there's our 12,000 trucks and 5,000 tanks. Too bad we need guns. Anyways, I'm getting the idea here because of the fact that I found out that we actually do have, our forces are actually superior to the Germans. So I go for a little bit of push, a little push. I'm going to go after Magdeburg. and then straight to Hamburg. We're going to secure Frankfurt, which we actually already do in a matter of days, or hours really. So there goes Frankfurt. I get the idea that's not such a good idea to come get to Hamburg from that area of the river. So instead, with our troops already across the river, we're just going to go on that way. Which seems to be succeeding. And our troops have been encircled. And there you have it. The capitulation of Germany. Let's go ahead and we can actually skip. There you go. And we get screwed over by Oswald Mosley for some reason. Anyways, I do believe that this should be enough of the footage. I mean, honestly, all you're going to see is just simply a bunch of white screens and then us getting screwed over by Canada. Because Canada ended up with the puppet. Anyways, I do believe that I simply load back and try again to see if that event right there will enforce the peace, but guess what? It doesn't. So basically, it's a little bugged. So, yeah. Anyways, if you like to proceed, don't forget to like and subscribe, becoming a Spartan in the process, and take it easy.